This is a summary of my first year of keeping a budget. I used a budgeting software that's called YNAB, or You Need a Budget, and I've mostly been trying to manage our cash flow. Using this software and its app has really increased my awareness of where our money is going, and it's helping me to get on track. If you're trying to find your footing in your journey with budgeting, stick around for the 4 things that helped me the most during my first year. I learned that a simple system for organizing my money can go a super long way. I also discovered 2 game changers that I can't wait to share with you. My channel is all about pursuing health in 8 key areas of life. Those include personal health, marriage or relational health, physical fitness, finances, work, family, friendships, and hobbies. I want to live a meaningful life, and it seems like taking responsibility is a huge way to do that. If anything that I'm doing encourage and lifts up others who are trying to balance their lives, then I feel like it's all really worth it. So, finances. YNAB software has been a good tool for me in my journey with managing our daily, weekly, and monthly cash flow. If you rewind 2 years, my husband and I had just bought a house, and we had to pay for a really significant health-related surgery for me. In addition to that, we had been living overseas for the previous 3 years, so getting settled in the States included a lot of shopping at TJ Maxx. Not having a plan for my cash flow amplified stress in my life and our relationship. It made me feel really uncertain when I was shopping, and it made opening the credit card at the end of each month a major financial and life event. Newsflash. Life and marriage is stressful enough without adding financial stress on top of that. So over time, I'm trying to go from a total lack of structured budgeting to creating more structure in my spending habits. My first year of budgeting can be summarized with 4 key things. First, getting started with YNAB. Second, keeping going with YNAB. And then there's 2 key game changers. Getting started with YNAB, well, the acronym stands for You Need a Budget, and that has definitely proved true for me. I heard about this software from 2 different friends, so I followed up on the recommendation. They have 4 key rules in YNAB that help you gain agency in your budgeting. That's really my favorite thing about YNAB, is that it's not only a budgeting software, but there's a lot of community that comes with it, and they provide training videos that are super engaging that have helped me figure out how to take my next steps towards financial success. The software for YNAB has a 30-day free trial version, and the paid subscription is $98 annually. Their software is similar to other money management programs like Mint, which, by the way, is $180 a year, in the way that it lets you log in and see all of your accounts for your money get summarized in one place. Getting it set up takes a little bit of effort, but having a clear summary of all of my accounts in one place became super helpful. So if you're looking to check out YNAB's YouTube channel, the 4 rules video is a great place to start. Keeping going with YNAB, kind of my second key thing, was such a huge habit to develop during my first year of budgeting. In his book, Atomic Habits, James Clear highlights that you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. In order to achieve my goal of having more balance in my finances, I knew I needed to find a system that could take me there. I committed to using YNAB once a week, and this meant that at the end of the year, I had a pretty good record of where all of our money was going. I may not have changed too much about our spending habits during this first year, but I have developed a habit that has been creating order where there was otherwise a lot of chaos. Whichever software you maybe end up using, I think being consistent is a key to your success. I'm so glad we used YNAB to basically go from having all of our money just stored in a drawer, kind of like a drawer full of Monopoly money, to now being able to use it really clearly. I used to kind of jokingly say that my previous system of money management was kind of like when you're playing Monopoly and you don't bother to sort your money into different stacks at all. You just kind of have it all like mixed together into one big pile. And it feels so good now to kind of have my money sorted into its separate piles. So, okay, the 2 game changers that I discovered during this first year of working with my budget. The first one was switching to manually paying our credit card statements And then the second one has been finding a money mentor. We use Chase for our credit card, and we've always paid it off on a monthly basis. We were using their auto pay for the longest time, but it wasn't until I switched to paying it manually that I was able to gain a lot more transparency in our spending. I'm sure this isn't intentional on the part of the credit card companies, but when you use auto pay, it's actually kind of hard to tell how much you're spending on a monthly basis. For example, let's say I spent $5,000 in January. When my auto pay kicks in on February 1st, I would think that it would pay the $5,000 that we had just spent in January. Instead, however, the payment flips back a calendar page to pay that December statement. That leaves my January amount completely unpaid, although thankfully without any additional interest, while my February amount again begins to accrue. What this ultimately means is that as long as we used auto pay, our credit card balance was never back to zero. It created a money mindset that said it was normal to never have my card fully paid off. Now that I manually pay our credit card, I have removed that 30-day gap, and our credit card is regularly at zero. Making this switch is not rocket science by any means. In fact, I would say it's just common sense, but this simple habit has really increased transparency in our monthly money management. The second game changer, which I mentioned, has been finding a financial mentor. I realized I wanted someone who was better at managing their finances than I was to teach me how to improve. I already had some help and a great foundation from my family, but it seemed to me that it would be unique to find a mentor with whom I could literally open my credit card statement and item by item figure out ways to improve. Within 2 weeks of coming to this realization, I had a meeting on my calendar with an acquaintance who said she was genuinely thrilled to help me in this area. I'll be sure to share more about this relationship in my next video, so keep an eye out because I will link it here. The thing that surprised me most about deciding to find a money mentor was that as soon as I had the idea and a few names had popped into my head, the top pick was the one who was immediately available when I asked her. It was so much easier than I had expected. We've been meeting about once a month right now, and it's been such a helpful relationship. So those are the 4 things I accomplished during my first year of budgeting. Firstly, starting YNAB. 2, actually keeping it going. After that, manually paying my credit card every month. And lastly, finding a financial mentor. I still don't think I'm at like Jedi Knight status for this, but maybe Chris Pratt would let me join the Guardians of the Galaxies in a pinch if I needed. And who knows? This was just year 1 of budgeting. I'll see how this growth plays out over time. I hope that the same proves true for you as you take steps towards budgeting and gaining ground in your financial management. So here's my question for you. What's one thing you could do today that would help you get pointed in the right directions? Sometimes all I need is a little bit of accountability to take the next step that I know I need to take. I hope you'll use the comment box below to tell me what you think you might do, or maybe even just how it makes you feel to dream about creating a budget. Maybe you're already using a budgeting software, and if so, I'd love to know what that is. Now, I mentioned earlier that my channel is all about finding balance and health in 8 key areas. Another area that was really out of balance for me 3 years ago was my lower back health. The daily pain that I was experiencing helped kickstart the fitness journey that I'm on now. I was really stuck in a rut of chiropractic visits that were a financial drain, and they weren't providing long-term solutions, and I was still experiencing daily pain. I've been pain-free now for over a year, and I used this video that I'll link to summarize my journey out of chronic back pain. That journey started for me with pain, but it's led to growth that I'm seeing in my fitness routine, and the way that I've seen that change, as well as the change in my ability to manage finances, has been inspirational, and I'm excited to keep that momentum going. I'm so glad you found my channel. The time that you've spent watching this video already told YouTube that this was relevant and helpful for you. If you have time to top that off, go ahead and hit that like button below. Thanks for being here. To borrow another quote from Atomic Habits, every action that you take is a vote for the type of person that you want to become. So keep voting for the best version of you. See you next time.